Candace is going full. You know how I was talking for a while about who was going to take Alex Jones's role, and you had different people kind of taking over which version, of Alex, where Rusty Trombone would be hippie Alex Jones, and Tucker Carlson was becoming the dweeb Alex Jones. This might be our first Blalex Jones. See what I did there? Because this has just become... There's a point to where when you dig deep enough into a conspiracy where you can never really come up with a real answer, the only way you can satisfy your audience and your own sense of, I guess, full paranoia is to keep digging forever. Right? And so let me see if I can pick this up in the spot that... this is about where I picked up. Where she's going on about how Bridget Macron, because she's an older woman and she's older than the president, that she's a man and whatever and shit like that. And the fascinating part of this is that most of us see through her attacks on Brigitte Macron as just kind of anti-trans garbage. And that normally that is where it would stop. And the problem that they have, I think, by and large, is that those of us... I have like food on my lip. I was eating before. That's the problem with beard hair. It catches everything. I need to put more... I need to get some beard conditioner. Anyways, in sort of diving into this, it will never be enough to just go, she's trans and therefore perv and therefore gay and therefore less than, which is pretty much the equation they're all running in their heads, right? It'll never be enough. It'll never be enough. So, where do you go from there? Well, she's got to be an older man who went after a young, easy to influence, destined to be president, because that's how conspiracies work. It has to play out that way. Young man, she was gonna, find this, hot piece of man meat, turn herself into a hot piece of woman meat to lure the hot piece of man meat into her clutches, where she would puppet master him into the presidency and therefore control of the world, because France, clearly France is the pivot point for it's not, never mind. So ultimately, if you dead end it just being an anti-trans bigot, it's not going to be enough for the current maggots. You know what I mean? It's not. It's good. What's the phrase? Let's see if I can find it. Let's see. Where are we? There's a phrase that just keeps going through my head, and this would be in here. Son of a bitch! I have so many.
Oh, hello there.
I have so many phrases. And sometimes you see them and then you're just like, oh yeah, I remember that one.
Well, stupid, are you ready?
But it's... I'm going to have to... Some of these just deserve their own special standout color, but I don't have them. But it's... I don't know why the fuck don't I just do it. But it's going to annoy me now, and now I have to find it. Nice. Not thrilling, but nice. That's the one I was looking for. Would
you classify that as a launch problem or a design problem?
I'm going to go with design problem on my end, really. I mean, what the fuck? Yeah. So, that's the essence of this. Nice. Not thrilling, but nice. And it won't be enough to excite and provoke the fever dreams of the... hold on, let me see. Preview, open preview projection. Where are we going here? There we go. Yeah. And then... hold on. Break that down. this? Okay, there we go. Much better. So, if she wants to, gin up maggot excitement, she's going to need a lot more than Brigitte Macron is just a trans woman and whatever. She's going to need a big, deep, sweaty, sexy conspiracy. It's got to be something bigger. And that's where we get into the old-fashioned Alex Jones, Bohemian Grove-ish kind of serpent, pedophile, whatever. I don't understand it, and I don't think she does either. But that's the great thing about this. I guess you never have to, right? You never have to actually get it. You just have to go, huh? I mean, and you can see it, right? I mean, I'm not the only one. This is because if you're feeling this, don't you feel a little weird? Right. When that's enough, shit, why stop at Macron is really a man? Just go straight to fucking lizard at this point, right? Okay, so let's check this out. This is just a little slice of the paranoia pie that's coming. That Madam Owens is serving in her kitchen.
And how the world is run, to figure out that Brigitte is born a man. What are we gonna do? We're gonna file a lawsuit. A lawsuit filing was a mistake, obviously. It was globally consequential, right? They wanted to stop it, and yet they spread it. Catastrophic to their aims. The more pressure they exert toward control, the more they spin out of it. Another example, lock them down at home. Make them wear a mask.
Also, why is that another example? I have yet to understand. Maggots, can somebody in the fucking maggot world explain this to me? That this sounds like this is how they get you, man. They use a hurricane to get you out of your house so they can go in there with a metal detector and look at your hard drive. Like there's the paranoia that as if life doesn't actually go on, as if a pandemic is fucking impossible, and that people's reaction to a pandemic can't be an actual organic thing with a mix of fear and conjecture and actual facts, and and a difficulty ascertaining what advice has value and doesn't over a period of time, when it's obviously striking the world in an extraordinary way. And part of the reason why these fuckheads think that COVID was a hoax was because the Chinese convinced everybody they only had 4,000 deaths when the disease came from their country. This is the thing, that it started there. And by the way, when they say it escaped from a lab, the maggots want you to think that Chinese people made a virus to kill people and released it, wink, wink, and it escaped, wink, wink, but they were really just putting it out there and that it was going to kill everybody, even though it's a hoax. That's the other thing, like Epstein. Like Epstein's a fucking Democrat hoax, but they're the ones that want to release it. There's only fucking 4 Republicans that would sign on to a discharge petition to expose a Democratic hoax. It's so lame. It almost feels like, why are we even having to bother talking about this horse shit? But when it comes to COVID, the number of dead in China, the absolute statistical minimum of dead people from COVID in China is somewhere in the order of 25 to 50 million people. 25, and by the way, when you hear a number like that, and by the way, I think it's 10 times higher. I think it's probably close to 250 at this point, because it's just rolling and they're not doing any mitigations anymore at all. And it's not like they ever really had a vaccine and they just kind of like, fuck it. We're just clearing out the old people. One of the things you have, if you look at a demographic collapse, is we don't have enough young people to take care of the old people. Oh, look, magically a disease rolls in that kills a lot of old people. It might take some young people, but let's just stand back and let it do its thing. There's a sick logic to that, a passive eugenics logic to that is absolutely within the normal order of business with the CCP. So, but 25 million minimum, okay? Deaths from COVID, period, end of story. That is the absolute floor. And if you hear a number like that, 25 to 50 million, then the idea that they welded people into their apartments and that they rounded people up on the street like they were stray dogs and put them in little prisons that they called hospitals and let them live in this room getting fed through a hole under the door like a prisoner in fucking Papillon, makes a lot more sense. Right? That sounds like what the reaction that a government would have in that extraordinary, horrible circumstance, right? If suddenly you got millions of people dying, you're like, oh, fuck. And then you start really, then the government overreach is completely explained by that. But you don't weld people into their fucking apartments for 4,000 people. You just don't. So part of the whole thing about they think it's fake is because they believe the Chinese numbers. She believes the Chinese numbers. She believes that there were only 4,000 dead over there. So it was all manufactured and fake. And even the dead over here were like, these people were gonna die anyways. All right. By the way, I'd like to say for the record that Summer complimented my beard and said it made me look like an evil genius. It's like, it's good. It frames your face. I mean, it makes you, you got a very boyish face. It makes you look more masculine. You look more like, she literally said evil genius. And I'm like, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm a bad boy. I'd be a bad boy, even on a global scale. 1 million, bazillion, billion, yen. Right. Yeah, 4,000 per day maybe is exactly right. By the way, hi, chat room. If you're watching and you're not engaged in the chat, say hi. Just pop in. You don't have to say a whole lot. You see it going by there and that kind of stuff. Just give a thumbs up or whatever site you're watching on. That helps us with the algorithm, helps us boost our numbers. All right, and now on with her paranoid bullshit. So again, COVID is a hoax, and yet Donald Trump created, was the mastermind between Operation Fart Steed.
Captain's log.
And so I guess clearly he was part of the conspiracy, him and his buddy Xi Jinping, you fucking tool.
Right? Create COVID in a lab, make everybody sick, force them to get the jab.
Okay, well, at least she says that it was a real disease that got everybody sick. I don't know what everybody sick means, but and then forced them to get the jab. You weren't forced to do it. You were just, if you wanted to do shit, you were more apt to like go back to work and hang out with other people so that you wouldn't clog up emergency rooms if you did catch it because it was out there, especially around Delta, which was fucking people up.
Evil is really fun that way until it accidentally awakens the entire world to how fraudulent Big Pharma is.
Yeah, it didn't do that. Have you seen the Ozempic numbers, you dizzy fuck? People are lining up for the newest jab. Holy shit. Think about that for a second, you fool. This is amazing to me. Finally, people are waking up to the reality. They're saying, keep your bullshit jab away from them. Meanwhile, everybody's like, oh, Ozempic, hard to believe it's not blow. oh. How'd you get so skinny? Ozempic? No, cocaine. Ah, all right. Well, sure. Worked in the 70s, I guess.
Like, is this now everyone's going? Is this just a factory of poison? Do these people?
No.
Are they so evil? Have we just been giving our bodies over to quote unquote science?
No, we have not. No, we haven't. We've been surviving a lot of diseases over the last 7 decades, especially, that used to kill people right fucking away. Okay? This goes to the whole RFK, like, when I was a kid, they didn't even have kids with chronic disease. I'm like, yeah, because they fucking died, you dumbass. They died when they were 6 years old. Now you got all these 12-year-olds and 15-year-olds running around with chronic disease. And you're like, yes, they survived.
Now, going back to the Looking Glass and them shutting down this project and not being able to edit whatever it was, we obviously cannot know for certain what it is that they saw when they peered.
Okay, sorry. Project Looking Glass is in theory this idea that they has anybody ever seen the movie Deja Vu with Denzel? Hold on, let me back to this. If you haven't, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with you. Tony Scott movie, bless his heart. I have to admit, sorry, one Deja Vu movie. Yeah, here it is. This one, Deja Vu, Denzel. I'm a huge fan. Huge fan. It's like it's served up so well. I mean, Val Kilmer is in it. Paula Patton, the girl who plays the woman who plays Claire Kutchifer in that, is so fucking good. It is the movie that turned Jim Caviezel evil, though. Like, because he's been that character since that movie. Carol Orstadt is like a right-wing hero. But yeah, like a bunch of these. It's a great movie. I enjoy it. If you haven't seen it, give it a try. It's one of Denzel's early dip his toe into like infusing his Christianity into his movies when it still made sense and had a kind of, it's kind of like Rocky or Brad Pitt in F1, genuflecting, praying before they get in their car or whatever. There's a little bit of spirituality and wearing it on your sleeve in there, which I'm totally fine with. Before he did Book of Eli, which is just the most messed up, from an ethical and moral and Christian standpoint, Book of Eli is fucking evil. He's a woman being raped and murdered. And he's like, I have a choice. I can save her, or I can save the package that I've got to get to its destination. And the package is the last copy of the Bible, so that it can be put on the shelf next to the Quran in a library in San Francisco. And this is supposed to be some sort of like red baiting pro-Christian movie. Like, it's the weirdest stupid shit. Anyways, Deja Vu is a great movie. Really do enjoy it. But the premise of it is that they have figured out how to look back in time 4 days. And that it isn't just that they can replay the past, that it's an active line, because technically speaking, you couldn't just look at the past. You're seeing the actual past. Yeah, Alios, your Book of Eli just sucks on so many levels. Isn't Mila Kunis in this? I mean, the only movie she's ever been in that I've seen that has any decent morals at all is Extract. You're welcome. Anyways, so there's this scene where he asks the question, look, is she on the other side of this, or can we just see her, or is she really alive right there? Am I watching a living person in the past, or am I watching a space imprint in time? And then he messes with it, and now he's obsessed with the idea that he could save this woman's life because he's in love with her, basically. And what's not to love? Jesus Christ, she's gorgeous. It's brutal. Paula Patton is just, I mean, come on. So, yeah, she didn't see him. She sees the laser, right? Well, I don't want to give it away. If you haven't seen it, you gotta watch it. It's a spoonful. It's not heavy. Man on Fire is amazing. I think like Dakota Fanning is in Man on Fire, and her sister is in Deja Vu. Yeah. Anyways, Kilmer's just terrific in it. Yes, I would try it. It's so well done. Love it. It's one of those really well done sci-fi films that just has genuine heart to it. It's terrific. So if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. But the point is that they had this technology in the movie where they can look back 4 days in the past, but only 4 days in the past, and 8 hours, something like that. That was the window. And then as your time moves forward, so does that time, until what you can see catches up with where you are. And you obviously don't keep looking, because you would just see where you showed up yourself, I guess. You'd see yourself when be an overlap. Just a waste of time. So what they're trying to do is watch up to and find the guy who did it so that if they know who did it, they can't stop him, but they can catch him in the act in absentia, right? Yeah, Man on Fire is terrific. Love that. So a lot of people are trying to recreate Man on Fire for themselves all the time. Mel Gibson tries it like twice a year. So that's sort of based on the Project Looking Glass thing that she's talking about, which is this thing that where apparently they set up this, at CERN or something, they were able to look through into the future and they could see the future up to a certain point. And then the way the way they explain it, hold on, let's see if I can bring up this. It's a secret military device for viewing the future. They used in the Cold War. And let's see, the theory is that they developed the machine in the 70s using argon gas and crystals to see probable futures, linked to concepts like Mandela effect and timeline shifts. And then some connected to ideas that reality we're in is a simulation, and that changes in our perceived reality that are due to shifts in these timelines, where they jump the timeline. If you know what the Mandela effect is that some people remember Mandela being arrested, and others remember he was never arrested or something. And that was one of the points. Yeah, Hal's doing the weave. No. This entire conversation, they're weaving. The maggots are weaving, and I'm just trying to catch up. I'm like in a paddle boat behind these guys on the river Crazy, and they're in fucking sea dews. So, and let's see. A real continuous military airborne command center for commanding nuclear forces during a nuclear attack was called Operation Looking Glass. So the name shows up and stuff. There was Sun Microsystems Looking Glass, which was an experimental holographic desktop display for 3D content. And then there was the Looking Glass Art Project, an art project in Pennsylvania helping refugees share their stories. And these are the three things where it showed up. And then, let's see. Yeah, so knowing that, let's just jump in. And she explains a little bit, I think, of Project Looking Glass. Cuckoo!
Through into this looking glass. But I do have a general sense that they're trying to edit its inevitability with ill-guided lawfare and warfare. And what I think is that our collective awareness is a threat. I think...
That's right. We're all waking up. And our collective awakenness, some would call it being woke, is seizing controls of the threads of history so that we cannot be dragged into a future of our unliking by people that would command the direction of time or some shit.
Everybody peeking their heads up is making them increasingly more frantic. Or
maggots elected a fucking idiot who's got jello for brains, and you're gonna get that kind of fragmented craziness from someone like that. This shit didn't whip up under Biden, and it didn't whip up under Obama. It's pretty acute to the current administration.
Like they know we're barreling toward some foregone conclusion, and they have spent decades trying to stop that.
Well, if they know it's a foregone conclusion, yeah.
To prevent that. And when I think about what it is, right, I just consider their general obsessions and their general trigger.
They, them, their, they, does.
Yes.
They
are positively obsessed with the Antichrist.
They are? Who's they?
I mean, like people like Peter Thiel. He's like going.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, you mean people on Trump's side? People in Trump's circle? He's not positively obsessed. He wants to be the Antichrist.
Around giving interviews asking about the Antichrist.
He's giving interview. What is he asking reporters? Do you know the Antichrist? Have you ever met him? Is he really in media? I've always figured he would be.
That's kind of the entire drift, by the way, of the AI world. When I say, look at these people, I don't like their eyes.
Too blue or too brown? Too round? Too beady? Too shifty? Almost like nervous nerds who don't do well with people?
Something disturbs me. They mock.
Yeah, a lot of things disturb you. One would even think of you as sort of perpetually, what's the word, disturbed.
That take me out of clip. Oh my gosh, I don't care. I have spiritual discernment. Something about the entire AI movement feels wrong. And
Was it great? Ma'am, if I may, one moment, please. Can you explain to me the difference between spiritual discernment and ignorant paranoia? I'll wait. Dum, 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 dum. Shit.
and come on, what am I wrong?
Yes. He looks like a dweeb. This is what dweebs look like. What do you want?
Am I wrong?
Yes, you are. He looks like Tony Hinchcliffe if he took testosterone.
Sam Altman, all of them. And they are, no, you can trust us. It's like they want us all to become automated so that we can be more easily controlled. What?
Yeah, the new government target. Or they could be trying to be the first to sell us a product that's the forever product that everyone will use forever and ever. And even after the post scarcity economy comes because of automation and AI, that people will be so grateful to them that they'll live a better life than the average plebe because we appreciate what they did for us, like Jonas Salk.
They're going to, okay, we can't control the outcomes. Let's just control where we're at. Let's control every single person in the world. And
Yeah, that's not complicated. We can't control the future, so let's just control 9 billion people. Let's do that. That'll make it easier.
make everything AI so that if we want to, they won't discover history. We can just delete files entirely. Nobody will be reading books anymore. The kids will.
Yep, they'll delete the books. There'll be a button that deletes books.
Be stupid. We can just wipe history. And
Unless you create a local AI that stores every history book ever, and then it's offline and they can't, which tons of people are doing.
entire civilization with the push of a button. There'll be no more books.
Like you read. Come on. What's your latest? Anthony Jeselnik reads more books than she does. He reads more books than most people, I think, maybe.
And maybe I could say this is 1A, but they also seem to be similarly obsessed with trying to make everyone turn against Christ. I mean, that push over the last couple of.
Well, I think there is something to say about evangelicals trying to turn people off of Christ. Because there's one of the ways that you could turn people off from Christianity or the Christian religion is to be abjectly against it. Shit talk it down, make fun of people, mock them if they go, deride them, even pass laws that limit their religious freedom, if you possibly can do that. You can't do it in this country, but you can do it in another. The better way, and hear me out, the better way, if you want to turn people off from Christ and make them dismiss Christianity, dismiss the teachings of Jesus wholeheartedly, is that you let people like Donald Trump be the fucking spokesperson for your religion. That all of your preachers are scumbags. And by the way, she's Catholic, so please.
Yours, Christ is King is hateful? You shouldn't even be saying that. Why?
I don't know. If you say it yourself, I don't think it's a problem. If you yell it at a Jew as they're walking to synagogue, maybe that's what you mean. Again, it's not the words themselves or the syntax. I think it's just kind of maybe your tone.
That's a weird triggering that no one expected. No one.
Yeah, that nobody really has.
Should say that. It's anti-Semitic, whatever. Producing reports about Christ is King. Is that not just a waste of money? Why did they do that? Can we just revisit that? Why did they do that?
Who were they? Because it was specifically used in that I don't give a fuck. What the hell?
They produced a report and brought in doctors.
Well, at least it was, Are we talking like PhDs in religion, or are we talking
Moon River?
Rubber glove docs?
Thank you, Doc. You ever serve time?
Hey, bring in doctors, sure.
To assert why Christ is king is wrong. That's weird, guys.
So weird.
And that's a triggering, by the way, that has been going on for a long time. It's the very reason they set about removing the Bible from the classroom.
No, the founding fathers did that. A bunch of anti-communist, freaked out American politicians, largely in red states, tried to reinsert it for fear that it was us versus the godless commies, and this was the line that they were drawing, not the violence of the communist regime and not the subjugation of human dignity, but it was just an us versus them. They might have been a new Byzantine Empire with, Muslim, atheist. It doesn't really matter. They're just not us.
Creating Hollywood in general, which was supposed to mirror Babylonian culture, training us to worship stars.
Oh my God, how did they do that? What? Stars. Because it's just it's like a Saturn religion. You know what I mean? It isn't that in a sea of uniformity, which would be space, some people stand out, and therefore a bright light standing out is kind of, emblematic of, never mind.
They wanted to establish this neo-paganism. They also wanted to...
Don't threaten me with a good time. What's neo-paganism? Is that where everybody goes to a Ren fair dressed like they're in the Matrix? Sorry. Neo-paganism. What the fuck is neo-paganism?
Make it so that...
The new pagans? I think the old pagans are just fine.
Future generations would think atheism was cool. That was by and large successful. It was a period of time where I thought that atheism was cool. But why? Why this push? Well, I think the obvious answer...
Maybe it's not a push. Maybe you live in a country with a plurality of ideas and some of them bubble to the top naturally because of interest or cultural shifts. No, I'm sorry. It's got to be a big and unseen Jew hand over top of
is
everything.
Because they are actually that God is real. That's what they're fighting.
They know God is real, so they don't want you to know God is real. Because if you find out God is real, then God is real. Oh my God!
They're fighting God at all times. They know.
That's exhausting.
Oh, he's real. And that should be refreshing to you. Like, God's obviously real, or would they be spending all the...
Yes, knowing God is real. It's like a glass of iced tea on a hot day. That's wonderful. You know what I mean? It's like lemon meringue pie / a deity. You get them all in one. It's God, the Father, the Son, and the holy shit, this pie is delicious.
Time trying to convince us that he wasn't, right? Do you spend all of your time trying to convince people that this is something is fiction? No, they're terrified of that, or they wouldn't. They're open Satanists, as we showed you guys yesterday.
Well, you can't be a Satanist if you're an atheist. There's no such thing, stupid. You have to. That's still they're still believers. They still believe in your God and your dude and stuff. They just think they're on Team Hot Pants, right? What that real shithead. Real Satanists are Christians, or are, at least from the Abrahamic tradition at the very least. They just picked a different dude to follow in the Bible. They like the light bearer dude.
They're trying to foster a culture of demonic idolatry.
Yes, or as we like to call it, Mar-a-Lago.
Think about this. I lost a job in part.
Sorry, I'm just thinking about you losing another one. Just...
for saying that pornography is a spiritual weapon against men, and that we needed to look into the history of pornography.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't the fact that you think Jews are behind pornography. It was just, I got to think about pornography. I think it's bad. I think it's very unhealthy. Oh, yeah? Well, you're fired. Why? Tell me why you think there's a problem with pornography. Well, the Jews started it. Ah. I see.
Huh?
What? The who?
What that should signal to you is that their power relies on us being...
Starting to figure out who this they is, right? Starting to get a good idea of who this them they is.
Being distracted, on us being focused on carnal desires, right?
Okay, I was for a second there, but I stopped.
Entirely living of the flesh. Like Tim Dillon said, the amenities, the pool, the new restaurant. Oh, look, there's a new celebrity over here.
Hi. Hello. Hi. I'm not a new celebrity. I've been around for quite some time, but I'm a damn fine one. Thank you for noticing. Charming as all get out. One of the good guys, I like to think. So, who are you again? Sorry? And what would you ever do if the world righted itself? Aren't you a tick on the very dog that's shaking the baby right now?
Yeah, so the threat is us being aware that spiritual evil exists. That's what they're afraid of. It's why they insist on this constant stream of pornography, filthy music, all of it. Because
if you're going to serve me up a distraction, I'm listening.
if it
Filthy music, okay.
is true, as it's
Filthy. I assume you mean rap and hip hop by and large. I mean, we've got more to worry about, from Norwegian death metal, I guess, on my side of the shade chart.
been reported by various whistleblowers that our thoughts could impact future events, then what would
Oh yeah, I saw that. It's called The Secret. It's great.
happen if we all started focusing on goodness, eternal goodness, God?
You'd be out of a job. You wouldn't know what to do with yourself. Everybody on your side of the aisle would, I think, more than likely burst into flames.
Yeah, I think that's the very reason that all of these demons seem to be thrashing right now. And I just wanted to...
That's because you're walking around with holy water and a cross. The power of Christ compels you. Right. Look what she's doing to me.
dive into that project because I think we're all sensing a panic and it's real, but I also want you to know that it's good.
Yeah, real good panic. Love me a real good panic.
It's crazy. You're like, no, everybody's out of control. It feels like things are getting dangerous. Yeah. But it feels to me like it's the last squeals of a dying demon.
Yes, I mean I think anybody sitting downwind from Trump hears that on the regular. That's I think that we have tape of it actually.
And we're going to speak more about that as well as CERN and
there we go.
What they discovered. We have to totally revisit that was happening at CERN just after a brief message from our sponsors.
She has sponsors.
All right, you guys, new research is revealing something.
Oh, she like anti-choice? Is that what her America's all about fewer choices. These are just amenities. Being able to control when and if you have a child, whether your body is used against you or weaponized against you, whether you're in a state that wouldn't prosecute your attacker, and you'd rather not have a child at 12 years old, that's too much choice for any human to deal with. Okay.
So modern science kind of being run by Satanists, so obvious.
So obvious. It is. I mean, who can't see it, right?
Again, just go back and watch our episode on the moon landing and the rituals that they were doing. It's always been this way, and they're creating it because they want you to worship science. And that their ultimate test to see if they had succeeded in that, I feel like it was COVID, right?
Real quick. They know God exists, and they're afraid we're going to find out. So they want us to worship science. How would this affect the existence of God? How would God not be able to go, yeah, dink? No, you can't do that to people. Is that what's happening? Is that what she's...
They stay inside. Like, they tried to make this a ritual, save lives. I mean, it had...
A ritual? Yeah, like eat right and go to the gym and, spend time in mindfulness and hang out with friends and family. It's like this weird ritual or something that they're trying to impose on people these days.
It was actually a really good article in the Spectator UK regarding how they tried to establish COVID to mirror a religion, the ritual of it, even having something you can wear, a mask to identify with one another. Anyway, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole.
Why not?
Point being is that once you see that, you can't unsee it, that modern science is intentionally being created to conflict with God. And there are some really bizarre
Yes, because God wants you to have untreated diabetes. God created polio, and he's pissed you won't catch it. Look, God created you. It's clear. God made you and all the little fishies in the sea. But he also made measles, okay? And you guys are trying to stop one of his favorite creations from killing kids. Assholes! And science is trying to get in the way.
things that have happened, particularly,
Why, Miss Sakamoto, you're beautiful!
I would say, regarding CERN. What do you actually know about CERN? I'm going to bring Mark on to mansplain this. What CERN is.
Yeah, I want to hear your description.
And what
The Large Hadron Collider, where they can speed up atoms and speed up particles and run all kinds of tests about the origins of the universe, about every possible atomic theory needs an environment that big to do those kind of tests.
they were involved in, and you guys kind of remember, we're trying to find the God particle. That was another push. Mark, jump on here and mansplain everything.
Yes, mansplain it, because there's no candy-splaining.
Happy to. And I just want to preface by saying I am not a particle physicist. So I'm just,
That's so fun. You know what I mean? You're being modest again.
just use particle physics recreationally. I'm a high school dropout. This is all on my own. But CERN was basically established in 1954 to research particle physics.
So mansplaining is just reading Wikipedia. I'm glad we straightened that out. I've always been wondering about what truly defines mansplaining, and apparently it's just reading from Wikipedia.
There's something called the standard model of particle physics to kind of explain how everything exists and what it's made out of, to back up the Big Bang theory of creation. And one of the missing pieces was, how do particles that don't have mass attain mass out of nothing? And so
The Lord, okay, aka the ethers, aka dark matter, aka Higgs boson.
1964, a group of scientists theorized that there's something called a Higgs boson. One of the scientists was named Peter Higgs, I believe.
And the other one was named Johnny Bosom, but they couldn't do that. We're like, can we change the M in your last name to an N? Because Higgs bosom sounds like a fetish, actually.
And so the search was on to find this particle. And so that's why CERN...
Sorry. Look at Candace. She looks like this is the first time she's hearing this. She's going to do a whole explanation of what it is and how Satan runs the whole thing, and it's the devil's workshop. But look at her face. She's like, uh-huh. What? Uh-huh. What? It's like she's being hit in the forehead with little tennis balls. Just like, duke, huh? Duke, duke.
created the Large Hadron Collider, which is based in Geneva, Switzerland. And
which, by the way, I fully intend to visit this year. Like, Summer keeps going, like, where do you want to go to? Like, we should go to Europe and visit someplace. And I'm like, I want to go to CERN, take the tour. She's like, I was thinking someplace with a beach and sand. I'm like, maybe they've got a teleporter. We could do both.
is a 17-mile tunnel underground up to 600 feet
We got a big one here, by the way. So, was it 6 miles? Something like that? This is just a bigger one.
underground in
We got a medium-sized Hadron Collider.
some places where they shoot subatomic particles at each other at a very high speed to try and break them apart to see what they're composed of. And so in 2012, they observed a reaction that's consistent with this particle that was...
Which is weird, because in 2012, that's when the Mayan calendar ends, baby. That's when the world as we know it ends. Ernest Borgnine. You know what I'm saying? All right.
theorized back in 1964.
By the way, that just fucking looks so cool. That thing. This looks like something out of, like, in a Marvel film. Looks like a close-up of Tony Stark's heart from the inside.
Some people were calling it the God particle to explain how...
Yeah, I bet they were, because they want us to worship science. Okay.
something can come from nothing and essentially try and
Nothing from nothing mean nothing.
erase God from the story of creation, to create a scientific explanation of it.
Or find a scientific explanation if there is one to be had. I don't think you can erase God. I think the myth evaporates if it's a myth. The myth evaporates the minute you discover the truth, right?
So in short, exactly. They're
Yeah, science. Totally.
trying to be God. This is like the next step for them.
No, I don't think they're trying to be God. I think they're trying to point out that there isn't one. Or I don't even think this has anything to do with God. I think they're just trying to find out how particles that had no mass but have energy create mass without interference from before mass exists. Therefore, testing the Big Bang.
Controlling humanity, we're controlling their minds. Like, what can we do? What's the next step? We need to become creators of things on Earth. That's all the way. By the way, you guys,
By the way, I have a 3D printer. I feel seen right now.
my conspiracy, why I'm like have 12 kids, it's because they want to even control birth. They want to control dying. Like, they're debating, oh, you should have, they always sell it as like, it's more freedom for you. No, it's more power for them. We're going to decide if you're allowed to be born. Everyone's going to eventually in the future need IVF, which puts them in a place of power. And then
No, I think pretty much it'll just extend the ability for people to have children once they've matured. And the idea that you would have a child when you're in your 60s or 70s even would make you better suited, almost like a grandparent is, towards true wisdom and guidance towards a child, instead of sort of the panic of the come up when you're in your 20s and 30s and you're trying to get your life together, that you have this extra life that you can't possibly be responsible enough for because you're not mature enough yourself. And so in the future, the idea would be that you would grow more before you would have to have children. You wouldn't be held back by the natural biological limits of the human body.
also we're going to,
In theory. Or you could also just get rid of, chronic disease and hereditary disease, because that would be the sane and moral thing to do. So yeah, your family has any number of hereditary diseases. You could let a weak heart valve pass on to your progeny, or you could eliminate it with the genetic modification when they are born. So morally, wouldn't you have an obligation to do it if you could? Like, if you could eat better and you knew it would give your baby a better outcome, you would be morally obligated to do so, would you not? If you didn't understand, for fuck's sake, one of the reasons why everybody thought that, that paternity was the root of all births was because nobody saw a woman's eggs. We saw something come out of a man, whether it was inside a woman or not, you knew something came out, literally. And so you thought she has a bun in the oven because this is baby batter, right? So you didn't recognize, like, oh, my stuff cooks inside you and then it makes a baby. And then we realize it's both of you that create the child, right? And that changes the balance of power, right? And the understanding of it.
also tell you when you die, which is why they have now these pods, which
They do have these pods, the death pods.
is being debated. And where's the home of the pods, the death pods? Switzerland. Anyways, of course, the tunnel is underground.
Sorry, is that one of their big exports?
And it's interesting when you consider that they started searching for this particle when they realized, that's when the 70s is when they began this Looking Glass project, when they started, not the CIA's Looking Glass project, but when they first got this.
I mean, they're all tied together. I don't think you have to separate them. But basically, like, everybody you don't like / don't understand / makes a good whipping boy for whatever bullshit you can gin up. Just take those three groups and just fuse them together, kind of like that, like alien sex.
Sumerian technology hooked up with a computer.
Sounds good.
It's an interesting parallel, right?
I prefer Cimmerian, Conan power mixed with an AI.
And I also
Crom
wanted to tell you,
AI. I call it the Crom AI. Crom, I've never prompted you before. I'm not good at typings,
guys, a little bit more about what happened with CERN, which I've always wondered about. It was a big WTF moment with these elites, and you might recall this happening in 2016, but maybe you weren't awake yet.
Oh, the big, dancing party that they did?
They quite literally got caught, and I think it was some worker that was walking around doing this nighttime ritual satanic ceremony gathered around the statue of Shiva. Interesting for those of you that are following our Becoming Brigitte series. In season 2, I went into Dionysus, the god of Amiens, which was from that town where weird things happen, and that's where both Brigitte and Emmanuel are from. Well, Shiva in the Hindu faith, if you
I'm fairly certain Brigitte was not a man before. I'm fairly certain she was made of marble, and she came to life.
look it up, this would be the nearest equivalent. Dionysus being like god of wine and revelry. Shiva would be the equivalent here.
Okay.
Anyway, they got caught literally in the middle of a satanic human sacrifice
Or a Dionysus ritual.
And I'm just going to read you this article
Sorry, they got caught killing someone? Hold on.
of a satanic human sacrifice ritual.
Sorry. Okay. In 2016, the scientists at CERN were caught dancing around a fucking statue in the courtyard of the building in the process of killing a person. That's what we're... And that never got its own Netflix special?
And I'm just going to read you this article verbatim because otherwise you won't believe me. Okay. This took place. CERN
The Express. CERN discovers satanic human sacrifice taking place in Large Hadron Collider grounds. On grounds.
discovers
Sorry, we got to look this shit up. Hold on. Yummy. Okay, sorry. CERN discovers. So, sorry, this thing can, like, create pre-crime? So the Large Hadron Collider discovered it. Also, if they're participating in it, how would they discover it? Nobody cares. Okay, hold on. Human sacrifice on... I'm not going to write Hadron Collider. Guess you never fuck around with a guy with a positron collider, huh? Collider grounds. Okay, CERN ritual hoax. Okay, that's the first thing. Hoax sacrifice video prompts CERN investigation. Fact check. Old video wrongly linked to CERN. CERN looks into mock human sacrifice video. Fake human sacrifice filmed at CERN with pranking. Hold on. This is 2016. BC Mag. Let's see. There we go. Whatever. The Guardian. Here you go. Hold on. So here's what we have so far. Let's see, get it the hell out of here. This article is 9 years old. Fake human sacrifice filmed at CERN with pranking scientists suspected. Spokeswoman at High Temple of Particle Physics suggests scientific users of the Geneva facility let their humor go too far with staging of a cult rite. The European Organization for Nuclear Research, CERN, has launched an investigation of a video filmed at night on its Geneva campus depicting a mock ritual human sacrifice, which circulated online, shows several individuals in black clothes gathering in a main square at Europe's top physics lab in what appears to be a reenactment of an occult ceremony. The video includes the staged stabbing of a woman. It's filmed with the perspective of a secret viewer watching from a window above. As the ceremony reaches the climax, lets out a string of expletives and flees, the camera still running. The ceremony appears to have been staged in front of a statue of the Hindu deity Shiva that is on permanent display at the complex. These scenes were filmed on our premise but without official permission or knowledge. CERN does not condone this kind of spoof, which can give rise to misunderstandings about the scientific nature of our work. The investigation is underway as an internal matter. It goes, this is the other one. Where are we? This guy. Oh, nothing. Oh, get out of here. No thanks. Oh, nothing. Just a fake human sacrifice near the Large Hadron Collider. Oh, nothing. That picture is amazing, though. Go away. Quit. There you go. And then, of course, CERN officials investigate spoof sacrifice caught on video. And Fox News, of course, puts spoof in quotes. Officials at CERN, spoof video, shot from a building in the European Organization of Nuclear Research known as CERN. The video shows hooded people in the courtyard. On its website, CERN called the video a work of fiction showing a contrived scene. Scientists pour in from all around the world around the clock to work at CERN. That's it. That was the whole thing. Everything I find on it is that it was a spoof. Quit it. There we go. So, and also, why is this? Get out of here. Dink. Yeah, and then shrink down. Silly. There you go. So stupid. Okay. All right. Well, oh, I see. Because there isn't one. I'll put that away. All right. There we go.
Satanic human sacrifice taking place at the Large Hadron Collider's grounds. Okay. A satanic human sacrifice, it reads, has been staged on the grounds of the European Organization for Nuclear Research, the home of the Large Hadron Collider. The footage shows which I'm going to show you guys, a cloaked group wearing long flowing black robes. One of them has on
Well, I mean, they should.
hiking boots underneath. They're seen walking
Well, yeah, because it's wet.
around before a woman moves onto the floor and then is stabbed. But the footage, then the person who's recording it, you're going to see the drop and they're like, what the heck happened? And they are obviously scared. So what?
Obviously.
And they got caught with this. I want you to know they come out and they say, oh, that was a prank. I'm sorry. It's a massive statue, as you're about to see. You're telling us that the leading scientists in the world decided to meet by the cloak of night to do a prank? And
No, not the leading scientists of the world. One of the groups that came there. They might have even been a tourist group.
someone at the facility gave a statement and said the PR guy said they were taking their sense of humor too far by staging a satanic ritual. I'm sorry, is this an acceptable excuse? This is like when a pastor finds $300K behind a toilet. We're going to need a little bit more here.
It's exactly like that.
Is the woman still alive? We can't even tell if this was a fake stabbing.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think obviously you should check the personnel logs at every lab that was working there at the time and anybody that came along with them. Although it's Switzerland. They could have just purchased someone from one of Donald Trump's friends.
In this video, the leading scientists of the world, and they admit, by the way, we're really concerned about security. We don't know how this video got out. It wasn't like this prank was intended for the world. Somebody who worked there recorded it, got it to a YouTuber who then published it. And their response was to say, that was a prank. Don't ask any more questions.
What? Sorry, if they got it to the YouTuber who released it, ask the YouTuber. Is this a trusted source or were they fucked with?
Let's move on. The media just backed him up. It was a prank. Yeah, so we're going to take a look at this ceremony, which, again, is taking place under a Hindu deity.
Which, I mean, par for the course.
And the spokesperson confirmed it's real, and this person had no permission to record it, and there was obviously, therefore, had no permission to have it published. Take a look at this, and I'm going to have to talk through it in case some people are listening.
Well, I think the whole joke, they didn't have permission to do the whole thing is the idea. Whatever.
On audio, but you really should try to tap in and watch this on video as well. Okay, so it's a massive, massive statue. That's just to start. Are we bringing this in as a part of the prank? I don't know. There is a woman. There's a bunch of people that are in black robes, and some of them have hoods up. And then there's a woman that's wearing all white in the center of it, and they are now in.
Yeah. Okay. Real quick. My first issue is, of course, with the leader of this group is wearing Converse. Clearly, the devil wears Nike. I'm kidding.
Circling this woman, and she's like laying flat on the floor.
On the ground? That doesn't work. You need a proper altar. Don't you know anything about these rituals?
As somebody is circling around her, I think he might be holding some fire, and then it looks like she gets stabbed. I'd like to know where that woman is today. If this was a prank, you then hear heavy breathing, and you hear a guy.
Maybe that person wasn't freaked out. Maybe they just started feverishly masturbating. Maybe maybe they were part of it, and that was their thing. Also, wouldn't you call the cops immediately? Wouldn't you? mean, you're watching it out the window. When you film it and then call the authorities or whatever, or give the video, because if you're going to give the video to a YouTuber, why wouldn't you give it to the police as well? It's not like there's only one fucking copy. This isn't an 8mm Zapruder film, shithead.
By saying F, 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 F. Doesn't seem like it was a prank to him. He didn't think it was a prank.
Well, if he's part of it, that's the point.
And we just moved on.
That's why is there? That's the only film of it that exists. There's no security cameras at CERN. There's no. All right.
We just absolutely moved on from that, which is incredible. It's incredible to consider that as a society, we have been so distracted that we were like, oh yeah, I guess that's fine. It was just a prank or whatever. Anyways,
sorry. Hey, asshole, your guys moved on from the Epstein files. What the fuck are you talking about 2016 at CERN for at all? Do you think that even goes anywhere near the 7 million extra documents, and that's just for starters, that are in the Epstein files that have not been released by Pam Bondi and Kash Patel?
I said, it feels like evil is becoming more radical, more obvious, and more
radical,
noticeable to most of us who had never considered that any of this was possible. And a part of that is just recognizing how fake the media is, And this brings me to Daily Wire.
Which brings me back to a Jew.
Unhinged. I don't even know what to say. They have dropped another video that kind of, if I'm being honest, feels like a laced threat. They are...
You mean a thinly veiled threat, or maybe a veiled threat? I don't know how thin the veil was, but...
Egyptian planes, but they have put in a voiceover, again, dropped on my old socials. So using my face to attack me in a really strange way by suggesting that they are following my every move. And
no, I think they're making fun of you being followed by Egyptian planes because that's what you think's happening with Erica Kirk, and so they're just kind of ham-handedly using that against you.
My every personal...
I haven't seen them, but I'm just going to go that it sounds like doofy bro shit like the White House does.
Decision that I make that they will be watching me. So I'm going to let you...
I always feel like somebody's watching me, and I have no privacy, Egyptian. All right.
Watch the video that they dropped on my socials.
You should be obsessed with traveling. Not just the destination, but the experience of getting there. When you travel with us, you'll feel warmth, you'll feel welcome, and you'll feel watched. Because every seat comes with the peace of mind of knowing someone is following you with 2 planes. This is what you can expect when you fly with...
Okay. Okay, that's kind of funny. That's actually pretty funny. They're fucking with you, Candace. This isn't a threat. This is them calling you out for being ridiculous.
Egyptian Air, we definitely never mix up our time zones, flight numbers, or flight times.
And that's making fun of her because she doesn't understand the difference between like mountain time and central and Eastern time.
No. Every journey is your personal business. After all, your personal business is our business. Is our motto. Egyptian Air. Wherever you travel,
we will follow.
And so they've colored the letters there on the text for watched, followed, we will follow. I don't even know what to say to that.
I'll tell you what to say to that. That's hilarious. They're mocking you, fuckwad. They're taking exactly what you have said and then one-to-one creating an ad absurdum visual irony version of it, shithead. You said the planes were following Erica Kirk everywhere. You were wrong about the time zones. They are taking this and they're dunking on you, stupid.
Like I told...
I'm like, I don't even get it. I don't get it. It's not a joke.
Told you they're unhinged. It's complete.
I don't know. That's pretty hinged. If you're unhinged, you can't do that kind of editing. It's goddamn simmer. These people are insane. You sound like Trump talking about Jack Smith, deranged Jack Smith with his fucking beard. Yikes. Where he sits there and you've seen how deranged he talks? Like, I considered that very seriously, and we worked on that very hard. I mean, listen to him. He sounds like a fucking maniac.
It's been going on, by the way. It's like gang stalking.
It's like gang dunking.
It's just been going on for 2 years consistently behind the scenes. Now they're just kind of gone mask down and people are seeing it in front of the scenes. Like,
Mask off.
I just am not
I guess mask down is the post-COVID thing where you just put it on your chin.
allowed to be fired from that company. And I don't know what to really say or do about that.
How about nothing? Because you've said all there is to say, which is you have no sense of humor about yourself. You have a giant broomstick up your ridiculous ass, and you are more than satisfied with its positioning.
And just to keep publicizing that I find their behavior to be alarming. It's discomforting, and there's something about this that feels very dangerous to me.
Yeah, that's because you're a paranoid lunatic.
And that feels like a warning, as many people said, a threat.
No, it's a direct dunk. They're literally taking everything you said and turning it into a punchline.
Laced threat, the weird devilish voice at the end. We will
Because you've said the Egyptians were following her.
follow you, and then having a plane then burst into flames. It's not a joke. They don't mean it to be a joke at all.
Yeah, they do.
So yeah, there you go. We'll just put that out there.
Yeah, we'll just put out the fact that I have zero sense of humor, and the world weeps for my friends and family because I have no idea how a joke works. And I guess it's just Jewish sense of humor. I just don't get it.
Lastly, before I get to some of your comments, I just wanted to also, Mike Pompeo, former U.S. Secretary of State, Tucker had exposed that during his time at the CIA, I believe it was Mike Pompeo. Am I correct, you guys, just in my ear, that he tried to have what's his face murdered?
Oops. Hold on one second. So silly. Russians. Psh. All right. Anyways, sorry. It was clearly it was the Jews didn't want me to dunk on Candace or some shit.
It was Pompeo, right? Okay, you fact checked that before. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure.
I mean, yet another guy that Trump hired that Democrats wouldn't let anywhere near the halls of power, but uniparty. It's all the same, right? Democrats and Republicans are basically the same. It's always the same. Other people are running things. It couldn't possibly be Trump's fault for choosing these fuckheads.
Tucker had exposed that. I think it was Mike Pompeo. I will correct that momentarily if I'm wrong. But anyways, they are just openly discussing how they need to edit history books. I was correct? Yeah, he discussed options to take out Assange just to make sure we're above bar there. Anyways, he is sitting down and discussing how in the future they're just going to have to edit out of textbooks for kids that are in school the part about how they murdered tens and thousands of Palestinian women and children and innocent men. Because it's just not good for their aims. Here's him in his own words. Take a listen.
The next generation of young people.
Yikes. That's Pompeo?
Won't remember.
Oh, no cocaine.
October 7th in the same way. That's true in Israel and in America and broadly in the world. And we need to make sure two things. One, it's not that we don't forget. We need to make sure that the story is told properly so that when the history books write this, they don't write about the victims of Gaza, right? They can't. The history, and it's. I should be a little more precise. There were victims in Gaza, right? It's true. There are civilian casualties in every war that's ever been fought, but the victims were the people of the nation state of Israel. That the aggressor was the Iranian regime in the proxy of Hamas, and we need to make sure that the history books reflect that, and that requires each of us every day to talk about it in real.
All right, normal, relatively moderating talk about this kind of stuff, tuned to the audience he's talking to. Also, he's an asshole. And, there are a bunch of people out there who are talking about very serious things, but are really shitty at it.
Time with our children, with our grandchildren, about it in a way that is serious and thoughtful and complete and more.
And are completely devoid of, I also voted for Trump. Leave that part out, I would say. Yeah, that's a good idea.
I just love it. They started applauding. They were just like, yep, got to keep that part out of the textbooks about the innocent Palestinians. He's like, oh, we're on camera. We just need to make sure the focus is just on the Israelis. Like, because like that
Was his focus that he was on? All right, never mind. She's just this is the Christian thing that she does, which is assign the worst possible motivation to someone. Just assume the word. Like, if you got some stones, fucking chuck them. That's, I think, what Jesus said. And that was in Mark, or that was in Glenn. Yeah, the Gospel of Glenn.
Matters more to us and the CIA. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Everyone's just gone mask down, I think, is what I'd like to say.
Mask off. Mask off is the phrase, shithead.
About that. In conclusion, we will...
All right, she's concluded something, I suppose. I don't know what conclusion we're supposed to draw from her ridiculousness.